Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing an awesome deck profile of my Zombie World deck. Yes, so this is Zombie World deck. Zombie World, as you've seen probably in some of my other zombie deck profiles, can be played in different decks, different zombie strategies, because it's that good of a card with the new support that came out a few years ago. But this deck is more predicated on Zombie World, quote unquote, the structure deck, the old school structure deck, and the zombie strategy and mechanic, I guess you could say nowadays. That's what this deck is more predicated on. And granted, there's a lot of different ways you can play Zombie World deck. People run different ratios. Everybody runs a little bit different things. If you've seen some of my other zombie deck profiles I've done recently for Halloween, you will see that, yeah, I'm running different ratios of certain zombie quote-unquote staples. So I just want to make you aware of that as you're watching this deck profile. Everybody runs their zombie deck a little bit different. So without further ado, let's get into this particular deck profile, guys. So first off, we run two Doom King Baladrock. Baladrock is your main boss monster, quote-unquote, of your main deck. I find that every person agrees that this is a 2 of. 3 of is a little bit too bricky, a little bit too much. But 2 Doom King Baladrock, great card even now after the it was printed in the structure deck a couple years ago. Next up we run 2 Netherworld Banshee. Some people like 1 of, some people like 2 of. It just depends what you want to run, what zombie deck you're running. In some other builds you've probably seen me run this as a 1 of, but in this build particularly, because we're more focused on Zombie World, I like it as a 2 of, and it's worked out pretty well for me. In addition to that, guys, we also run 2 Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom I feel is like a pretty staple 2 of in any zombie world, in this Zombie World deck. Glow Up Bloom is really nice, really essential. I know some people out there do like to run their Link Kaiba just in case they draw multiple Glow Up Bloom. They can just Link Kaiba the other one away, and that's perfectly fine if you want to do it. I don't find that happening as much. I find that happens more if you're running 3 Glow Up Bloom and then it bricks or something of that nature. But for the most part, I don't find it necessary that happening to me as much. So I don't run Link Kaiba in this deck if you guys are wondering. But yeah, just 2 Glow Up Bloom works in this deck. Next we run double Unizombie. There will be a lot of discarding with Unizombie and utilizing his effect, but compared to, I would say, other zombie decks that, you know, utilize Unizombie a little bit more, aka your Skull Servants, aka maybe your Mayakashi, where you want to get these zombies from your hand or grave, you know, to the graveyard much more quickly because you want their effects off, you want them more engraved. The Zombie World strategy, yes, you have your Mizukis, yes, you have other cards. They don't, ultimately, you don't need 3 Unizombie as much as you would in maybe another zombie strategy. So I just personally just like 2 Unizombie in this version of the deck. I will say, even to this, I know it's been a couple years now, thank you Konami for printing this as a holo reprint. Like, I am so grateful that this is a holo reprint and got multiple holo reprints because it really, really deserves it as the card. But I'm still happy about that all these years later. Next we run 3 Shiranui Squire. This is going to be aka your lone fire, quote unquote, of your Zombie World strategy, your Zombie World deck. Great card. We will be, guys, if you guys are wondering, we will probably be doing that this coming week because it's more of a just generic zombie deck. We will be doing a Shiranui deck profile, so do expect that on this channel in the coming days. But in this version of the deck, because you'll be tutoring different zombie cards out, I find Shiranui Squire is a good 3 of. Some people like 2 Unizombie and 2 Shiranui Squire. I've said this for every zombie deck profile I've done recently. Every zombie person runs a different ratio of their Unizombie and Shiranui Squire depending upon what they like, what they want to run, what they feel like. So run whatever ratio you want to run, but this is what I'm running. It's working well for me. Next, I run 3 Mizuki. I will say, guys, I know a lot of people like running double Mizuki, and for a majority of my zombie decks, if you look at them, I am running double Mizuki, but in this version of this deck, because we're more predicated on Zombie World and reviving your zombies and using them and abusing them for links and synchros and things of that nature, I find that 3 Mizukis worked out pretty well for me. So go what you want to. I am running one Gozuki in addition to all this, so I do want you to know that. But play around with the ratio you want. Maybe you want to run, I've seen people run 2 Mizuki and 2 Gozuki, 2 Mizuki, 1 Gozuki, 3 Mizuki, 1 no Gozuki. I've seen everybody run differently. Me personally, for this Zombie World strategy, I like this ratio, but that's just me. Run what you want. Jacobolin, I like it as a 2 of in this deck. Mainly, I usually run Jacobolin as a 1 of in any Zombie World strategy, because there's other, you know, it's the Zombie World is more of an engine than the strategy. But in this deck, because Zombie World is more of the strategy, in air quotes, Jacobolin works well as a 2 of, I find. So for those reasons, that's why I'm liking Jacobolin as a 2 of in this version of the deck. The generic stuff here, we're running 1 Vampire Furloin. You run it in every zombie deck pretty much because it's that good of a card for zombie strategies, quote unquote. I am looking forward to the new zombie vampire support that is going to be coming out soon as well. Next we run 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. The OG zombie, right? The OG. You use your Plague Spreader Zombie and your Malicious to go for that Stardust Dragon. That was 2008. But nowadays we're going to be using your Plague Spreader Zombie more for your needle fiber plays. So you'll be tutoring this bad boy out a lot of times with your needle fiber combos here, guys. So that's why he's in here. Not just because he's the OG zombie card, quote unquote, along with some of those Gemini ones. You guys know what I mean if you're old school zombie players. Those Gemini zombies, man. Woo! But yes, guys, 1 just Plague Spreader Zombie in this deck for your needle fiber plays. Kind of funny that this is also a zombie, but it's also one of the better hand traps in the game right now. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. You can run whatever hand traps you guys want to run. You want to run your Ghost Ogres, you want to run your Drilling Locks, you want to run your Effect Veilers I've seen. Run whatever you want to run. I know Ash Blossom apparently has gotten more expensive. I had a bunch of them because I picked up a lot of special editions. I got them from Legendary Collect. I kept pulling them from Legendary Collection Kaiba. People kept gifting them to me because I like the card. But I have a lot, so I run them in pretty much every deck because it's generic and it's going to also hit a ton of decks out there generically. So it's never going to be like specifically against a certain meta deck. That's what your side deck's for. But saying that, I like Ash Blossom in this deck. So 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. If you want to run another hand trap, like I was saying, go right ahead. I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Next up, we got 3 Super Polymerization. Super Poly is amazing in a Zombie World strategy, guys. Like, really amazing. If you guys don't know why this is so good, is because it can help you set up zombie cards in grave. So maybe that Mizuki you have, oh, I'm going to put that in grave. I'm going to crack your board with, I'm going to break your board a little bit. Maybe break a board, get rid of a powerful monster you have. Super poly it away for something from my field, and I'm dealing with a threat on your field. So Super Poly is really, really good in the Zombie World strategy and really works well with it. If you run the Zombie World strategy, guys, you got to run Super Poly. And usually what you're going to be going for most of the time is you're going to be going... Most of the time you're going to go for either your... I'll show you guys right now. You're going to be going for your Draco Nether Soul Dragon with your Super Poly, or if they have a Dark Space strategy, you'll go for your Venom Starving Dragon. So usually you're going to use your Super Poly here to either go for one of these two. So that is what they are there for. But yeah, really like the strategy. Really good strategy overall. So 3 Super Poly. Next up, guys, we run our 3 obligatory, like I said, Zombie World. I'm so happy they reprinted this as a holo reprint recently. I think it was last year. It really needed it, and I'm so happy they did it. But 3 Zombie World. Remember, guys, they're in your head. They're in your head, in your head. Brownie points if you know what song I'm referring to. Just watch out for the Thriller too, So 3 Zombie World, yes. We also run 1 Terraforming. I want to get to my Zombie World because it's the main strategy of my deck very quickly. Terraforming along with Necro Banshee really make sure that I'm going to get it turn 1 and get my board up. So that's what we're running that for. 2 Book of Life. Some people run this, some people don't. It's an option. I know a lot of players out there are running the Danger package with their zombie deck. I get that. And that works well because the Dangers can be extensions of the deck. They can be extenders. But because of other certain cards in the deck, it kind of conflicts with what I'm trying to do. I've found. So you can run what you want to with these 2 cards. If you want to run 1 Book of Life and maybe a Burial from a Different Dimension because that's what you're feeling, go right ahead. If you want to run, you want to side deck these because you feel like it's not really helping against that certain strategy and you want to put things in like maybe your Tactics Talents, or because you're going second that game, your Lightning Storm. You can easily side these deck these out if you wish. Me personally though, when I've taken this to a couple tournaments this past month, it just depended. Book of Life is really good because everything's going to be zombie. I can revive my things. I can bring them back. I can abuse things. Some of my synchros I can re-abuse. It's really nice. I can bring things, cards back, abuse them. I can get rid of your stuff in grave if you got something set up over there. It's just generically good. But it does take a little setup, I will say that. But once you have so many raves of just things are dead in grave. You bring them back, you abuse them. Things are dead in grave. You bring back, abuse them. That Book of Life works out pretty well. So you can run or not run it, or run other cards if you wish. Next, I won the 1 Foolish Burial. You would be foolish not to run Foolish Burial in your Zombie World deck. It would be a very foolish thing of you to do. 1 Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is going to work with your Sea Monster of Theseus to help go for Needle Fiber combos, which is really helpful for the deck. I know some people are running the new Fusion card, but Instant Fusion just works just as well because Theseus is a level 5. So, yeah. 1 Call by the Grave. I don't want to be hand-trapped. It gives me some protection. Deals with other graveyard-oriented decks. So, yep. And kind of funny that you're running Call by the Grave in a Zombie World strategy. It's just... the name sounds funny. 1 Monster Reborn. Reborn things, bring them back, abuse them for plays. You get the gist of what I'm trying to do here, right? Next up, we run our 3 Infinite Impermanence. I want to negate you from doing stuff. That's something that Zombie World, I just want to do. I want to be able to negate you, stop you from certain monster plays, etc. It's really a good thing to have in this deck. You can run or not run Infinite Impermanence if you own them. You could run other hand traps if you want to in this spot. I usually find when I'm playing this deck in a tournament setting, which I've played it a little bit this past month, that you're going to side deck these things in and out as necessary. This is good side deck stuff that you can put in Game 1 because this deck is predicated on Game 1. But what you also can do is you can side deck it out Game 2 and 3. So, good stuff, but yeah, I like 3 Infinite Impermanence. And then lastly, 2 Rivalry of Warlords. Guys, this card's amazing. I do not want to see multiples of this card in my hand, though. It works well, guys, with your Zombie World because it can lock your opponent out of doing certain things. So it's really good in combination with Zombie World. But you got to get to your Zombie World fast. And I've also found that that's why I don't like the Danger package, because if this gets destroyed, I've had this on field and I have Dangers on field. I'm like, I only can use them for extension plays because ... Just saying. So I mean, not so much with the Dangers, but just it kind of... The Dangers are good for extension, but I just didn't find them really useful for what the deck was trying to do. Like, you can run the Danger package if you want. I was kind of conflicted. I've run this deck before with Dangers. I tried it again with Nessie back at 2 of. I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's good, but you don't need it in the deck. Rivalry of Warlords is good too, but it's got to go with your Zombie World. And I've had people pop my Zombie World, and I just have this on field, and I got monsters on field, and I'm going, fudge! You know, they're smart. People are not... They'll destroy this, leave this on field, and you're like, well, now we're both in a pickle, aren't we? And they're like, yep! So, I'm just being honest with you. This is a good play. Just be careful. That's what I'm trying to say at the end game. because I've had it bite me in the butt, and especially brick with it if I drew multiple Rivalry of Lords. Not a bad card, not a bad combo, just be careful, is all I'm saying. Next I run 1 Vampire Sucker. We run 1 Needle Fiber like we were talking about earlier for certain plays. This is pretty basic zombie stuff. Some people do like Revenge and Slayer. That is something good. Vendread Slayer, the Link 2. You could run that. It's a good going second in your zombie strategy if you want to. And also I'm running 1 Access Code Talker. You can run any Link 4 you want to. Some people still like running Silver Skull Dread. In this deck, it works out pretty well. Your Synchros, you're going to run a lot of those guys, so let's get into those. 1 Formula Synchron. Your 1 Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon. Your 1 Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Your 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. Your 1 Beels of the Diabolical Dragon. Your 1 Cyframe Lord Omega, so you can bring back some banished stuff, recycle things. It's pretty good to have, I find, in the deck. Your 1 Shiranui Shogun Saga. Next we have 1 Levineer, the Sea Dragon. Sometimes you will go into this to bring things back. It is nice. And the last cards we run is 2 Nether Soul Dragons. Your 1 Venom Starving Dragon, which, like I said, this is your Super Poly targets right here. And then for your Instant Fusion target, we're running 1 Sea Monster of Theseus. It works out pretty well because you can break Theseus out if you have just a dead hand, and then you can at least go into your Needle Fiber and then go up from there, which is really nice. So that is the deck in a nutshell, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I really like this deck a lot. It's a super fun deck and a fun strategy. And it's always this time of year I love profiling it because it's just such a fun deck. And it always gets indirect support because this deck is really more of a zombie world focused deck. It's more focused on zombie, just generic support along with zombie world. So it's a really fun strategy. So hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, remember to leave a thumbs up down below, guys. And until next time, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you guys out there. And I'll see you all next time. Take care, everybody. And happy Halloween.